Hey everyone, welcome. This is Nate Gates with the Gospel Mission, and we are live right here in our thrift store. Moments from now, we're going to be doing episode 8 of TGM Aware, our podcast, and we're filming it right here in our thrift store. Now, if you are not familiar with our thrift store, we have a lot of cool things here. We have clothes, we have knickknacks, we have some household goods. Our hours are Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6, and we are here at 215 West 6th Street, just north of Palmer Candy. But when you come in, one of the favorite things that a lot of our customers like, and we as staff like as well, is you will notice that everything has a tag. But you will also notice that tags are a different color. There's a blue tag, there's a pink tag, and there is a green tag. And what those tags mean, not only is that price, but there's always a deal. So something could be 25% off, 50% off, or 75% off. We always got a deal going on here at the thrift store. So if you want to go out, you need some place to go to do some thrifting, some shopping, get something at a good price, and also help for a good cause, because all the money goes back to our ministry, and come down and check us out. But from now, we're going to go to our podcast. Welcome to TGM Aware, the official podcast of the Gospel Mission in Sioux City, Iowa. Each month, we bring you real stories, honest conversations, and behind-the-scenes insights into the work of Rescue Women. From staff and volunteers to community partners and guests, we explore how lives are being transformed with Christ-centered care. Thanks for joining us. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome to TGM Aware, the official podcast of the Gospel Mission. I am Nate Gates, the Associate Executive Director of the Mission and the host of this podcast. And today we have Shayla Moore. All right, well, welcome, Shayla.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about you. I mean, you're the Executive Director of the Women's Shelter. I know a few months ago you won an award, Women of Excellence. So kind of a big person here. We got a celebrity here, a Siouxland celebrity here on our podcast. But Shayla, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go as far as saying a celebrity, but I do really care about the community that I live in. I am Christian, and so obviously I want to be the hands and feet of Christ. And so through my work, I'm able to do that. Not everybody gets to say that. So it's super cool that I get to use my profession to help people and to just, serve Christ. I'm a mom, so I have 4 children. We are very busy this time of year. We're at baseball games every night of the week, Monday through Friday. So I definitely stay busy. But yeah, I mean, I just have a heart for our community and the people who live here and people who are struggling. And so that is why I'm in this line of work. That's why I do what I do. And every day I strive to do a little bit better than the last day. So
Sure. No, that's really, really good. Very busy from being a mom to overseeing the women's shelter, which we're going to get into here in a bit. We keep talking about the community, serve the community. So tell us about your role as executive director at the women's shelter.
So my role, I wear a lot of hats. With us being a nonprofit, we don't have a person for, media and all of the different things. So usually I just wear different hats. And so every day looks different than the last. And that's actually kind of good for me. I like to switch it up. And so that's fun. But I do a lot of community education. I really want people to know what we're doing, how we're serving the folks that we serve, and who the people that we serve truly are. I think there's this great misconception that, people who are experiencing homelessness are, bad, or they're criminals, or they don't want to do better. And I'm made it my own personal goal to just really combat that perspective and teach people what the truth is behind it. Are there bad people who are experiencing homelessness? Yes, but there's bad people everywhere. And the majority of the folks that I come across on a daily basis are really incredible people who deserve for people to have an open mind and an open perspective of what they view homelessness to be.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, working obviously in the homeless ministry as well. I mean, you're ministering to people in crises. So, I mean, you don't have, say there are people over there. It's not like, 10 o'clock, a person with mental illness is coming.
Yeah.
No, you're just every day. You got to be, you don't know what to expect.
Right.
But share a little bit more about the people that, we minister the same ones, obviously, but share about the people that you minister. What do you see when you walk into work or when you're driving by a shelter area and you see someone on the side of the street, they look like they're struggling. What goes through your mind?
Well, not a lot, actually. I have this thing that I do. If I see someone that I don't know if they're unsheltered or, they're just kind of in the community and they look like they could need some help, And I tell everybody else to do this too. I give them a bottle of water and I give them my card and I say, hey, the homeless shelter isn't far from here, or kind of give them the general direction and just let them know we're here to help them if they want the help. Some people take that and some people don't, but I've never had someone decline my free waters that I hand out. So, the people that we serve, they come from all different walks of life. There isn't a one size fits all. I walk in the shelter most days. The people that we are serving are so, so grateful, and they're just so upbeat and happy despite, their situation currently. I get the good morning every morning. And, when our first shift staff leave for the day and our second shift staff come on, they all cheer for them. And they're like, we'll see you tomorrow. And they cheer them on. And you can hear that from my office. So what a great way to just start and end your day.
Yeah.
But really, we do serve folks that are higher risk who may have some kind of, history with, whether it be criminal history or mental health, mental illness, those types of things. We're seeing a lot of those higher risk population, and we're really trying to bridge the gaps to help get them where they need to be so that they can be successful and so that they're not defined by their past.
Yeah. A couple of things you said there. First off, a round of applause and you walk in and walk out. Like that never happens here. So okay, you guys must be doing something.
It is hilarious. And I always joke because I'll be giving a tour or I'll be like meeting with someone in my office and I'll be like, yeah, we planned that totally. But no, like they do that every single day and it's so adorable and it's so uplifting because they enjoy the people that are that we have for staff and they know that they care for them. Right. And so it's super cool.
Yeah. That is one thing, I've noticed working here, you walk around these areas, you feel okay. Like, you don't feel like, you need a carry or anything like that. No. You're fine. They got your back. They know they love you. They know you love them. And even if it's disciplining someone and they act like you be dismissed, they know you did it out of the goodness of your heart. So, it's a rewarding ministry to be a part of. A lot of different things, a lot of diversity when it comes to that. But so you said one thing, like you want them to be successful. So in your mind, what is success for someone in your guys' care?
It's actually funny that you asked that because I'm really trying to define that more specifically because success for one person can really look totally different than success for another person. But, for the folks who are maybe struggling with addiction, getting them to the point where they say, I'm ready, I want the help. And knowing that we're there to get them where they want to be and that we're not going to give up on them. That's a success. Sending someone off to treatment and them getting the services they need to heal and do better. That's a success. Somebody who, has mental illness and isn't willing to be treated. And then, we minister to them through the work that we do. And they finally get to a point where they trust us enough to seek out those services with us, walking alongside of them. That's a success. Our successes should be just, getting people housed, but that really isn't always the first step. And when we look at it in that way, we aren't really helping people with the deep underlying things that cause them to become homeless. And so we're really working on, those foundations, building those foundations, getting them where they need to be and building that support network is another big one. Just a lot of the people that we serve don't have very good support systems. And if they do have a support system, it's not necessarily positive. And so we work really hard to build that up with them beyond just the professionals that they're working with. Their success can look completely different with every single person that we serve, but it's their own success and their own progression through, whatever it is that they're going through.
Yeah, no, that's just really interesting you say that because that's the first question I always ask people, leaders, so you got to define success because if you don't know what you're going for, you're going to fail, right?
Right.
But I like how you say like success is every little thing. And even us here at the mission, we start to notice, someone who decided, hey, I want to just leave and go back with my family member, that might be success,
right.
I think so many times we look at it as, okay, are you housed? Are you churched? Are you just like a fruitful, productive Christian? Right. Are you staying out of trouble? Are you not doing drugs? And at the end of the day, like that end result, that's what you want. But like as you just said, there's all these little steps that go along the way to eventually get there. It's a lifetime. It may take a lifetime for some. Absolutely. And so I think that's really good. Just kind of celebrate those little wins. Someone coming and saying, hey, I showed up today.
Right.
Okay, that's success.
Exactly.
I made my bed today. I'm breathing today, right? There's little things that, we take for granted and we don't think are, big successes. They're a lot bigger than we think. So no, that's really good that you guys think that way. And I know you guys do you provide a lot of resources for you people to be successful, whatever that looks like. So talk a little bit about the services and the resources you provide your clients.
Yeah. So first off, we have a resource and advocacy liaison, which that's a new role that was created in the last couple of years, but it has been significantly impactful for our clients. What that is it's Michael is her name, and she is working one-on-one with clients to bridge the gap. She is figuring out, okay, what is your situation? What barriers are there? What is the order that we have to work through those barriers? And then she's connecting them with the appropriate resources. And then she makes sure to follow up and make sure that the follow through is happening. So Michael is a huge blessing. Beyond that, we also have our provider office, which was fully operational this past December is when we finally were able to use it. And so we have providers coming in on site. We have mental health therapists, medication management. We have services surrounding addiction that come in, employment, anything you can really think of that would benefit our clients and those that we serve. We have them coming on site.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you're aware that transportation is a barrier for some of these folks. And so getting them in the door to work with our clients and get them, through whatever barriers is super, super helpful. It eliminates that transportation piece. We do have a shelter van, but we have to have people to drive that shelter van and get them where they need to be. So we don't always have the ability to help with the transportation piece. Beyond that, we also recently launched our mentorship program, which I know I've told you a little bit about. We're really excited about that. That is meant to bridge a couple of different gaps. First, having that positive support network that I mentioned. Someone that they can just lean into that is going to pour into them and just, be their cheerleader, cheer them on, and, maybe show them some tough love sometimes when they need it. And then the other part of our mentorship program is we have workshops that we're partnering with different agencies locally to where they can come in and provide, just basic life skills workshops. This next month we have a mental health provider coming in, and they're going to be doing some de-escalation and coping skills, simple things that, you and I might take for granted sometimes that we're, kind of good at. Some people haven't been taught how to do these things. And so we want to bridge those gaps. We are always paying attention. Why are our clients struggling? What are we missing? And so we're trying to, bridge those gaps where we can and get them where they need to be so that they can be successful long-term.
Yeah, no, I like that. A lot of providing with them a lot of resources and a lot of partners coming on site, which is cool because I'm sure like when people come on site, their eyes get open a little bit.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, this is like a lot bigger than I thought. But it's very beneficial for them to see that, and also for the people staying with you to be able to know, hey, there is help there. But you said mentorship and you said workshops, so let's kind of focus on that a little bit. Talk a little bit deeper into mentorship. Like, what are the expectations? How long? What's how many mentors do you have?
So we actually just onboarded our 7th mentor yesterday. Basically what the mentorship program looks like is our tier 3 clients who are doing very well, who are sober, they're following all the rules, they're, moving forward with their housing plan. They have this service, they're eligible for this service. And the mentor piece is folks from the community that want to help. They want to pour into people. They have a heart for helping people. And, they're from, all over Siouxland. I actually the gentleman that we onboarded yesterday he lives on the outskirts, but comes to town every day. These are people that really just want to help in any way that they can. And the intention is for these mentors to not only last, while they're staying with us at the warming shelter. They're meant to be a support person for them, for as long as, that they feel necessary. And so they build that rapport. We actually have one gentleman who recently graduated, and he and his mentor are still meeting. I got a call the other day, and they're like, guess who I'm with? And it was the client that is now housed, and they were going to pick up a bank card because he doesn't drive. exactly what we want the mentorship program to look like, because had he not had a person to lean into, maybe he wouldn't have went and picked up the bank card, and it could have that ripple effect and cause more barriers. So it really is, it's meant to be a positive support network, building that up, connecting them with additional positive supports. And our clients, where we don't require it, because they want to participate. They have to make that choice that's available to them. And so right now we have 7 mentors. We're actually working on getting some pairs made this week. So all of our mentors will be paired with a mentee, and then we do need to onboard some more mentors. And so we've been recruiting people left and right, but we also want to make sure that we're recruiting the right people, people that truly have a heart and truly want to help and be intentional and show up. And so, we are being picky and choosy about it, because we want to set these folks up for success.
Oh, that's very, very, very good. And then the workshop, the other thing that you talked about, talk a little bit about the workshops.
Yes. So when we were, looking at the bigger picture of why people return to homelessness, why they struggle once they get housed, well, I always ask the questions, and a lot of it was just basic life skills, just little things that they'd never been taught, they'd never learned. Filling out a renewal packet, simple things. And so as we were creating the mentorship program, we're like, hey, we can bridge 2 gaps here. And we can, offer these workshops, these groups for people to come together, be alongside their peers. Peer support is a big thing. People who are doing well, having other people who have struggled and are also doing well in their company is very helpful. And so we bring them together for these groups. And we learned very quickly that our community and our local providers that we already partner with want to help. They want to be a part of the solution. And so coming up with different workshops and people who want to do them has not been an issue at all. It's been really incredible to see, our partner agencies wanting to be a part of it. And, we'll have our first workshop this upcoming month, and I'm really excited to see how it goes. This is still very new, and I assume that there will be bumps in the road, but there always is, and we get through them. So
very nice, very cool. Yeah. So mentors, workshops, if you guys are interested, towards the end of the episode here, we'll let you share how you can get a hold and do all that stuff. A lot of good stuff going on there. So one thing you talked about the different tiers that you guys have. So it's not like everyone just goes in, there's 150 people just like one little room right there. Right. You have different tiers and there's purposes behind it. So tell everyone about the different tiers you guys have at the Warmer Shelter.
There's so much I could talk about our tiered program all day, but I'll give the basics. So basically, we implemented this tiered programming about a year and a half ago. And the reason we did that is because we were at one point really close to closing the warming shelter. There just wasn't the community support that needed to be there in order for us to operate. It costs money to, run, the services that we have and have staff. And so we really took a deep look at what needs to happen for the community to want to support us. Where are we falling short? And one of the areas that was very commonly communicated was we aren't seeing the progression of people. Like we get you want to save lives and whatever, but there really isn't progression. So how are you long-term helping these people in a way that's truly impactful? And so we took a look at our operations and decided we need to be year-round, one. When we send people out the door after working with them for 5 to 6 months, they have no safe place to go. And any progress would immediately just be out the window. So they'd show back up at our doorstep on November 1st for our seasonal shelter. And it was just, a never-ending cycle. And, the intention was always we were well-intended in wanting to make sure that people didn't freeze to death in the winter months, but it had unintended consequences of, people weren't able to progress because they only had shelter part of the year. The other part of the year, they were really in survival mode. And so, anywho, we made the decision to operate year-round. And with that, we really wanted to be intentional in the way that we were offering our services. We were not willing to stop serving the most vulnerable, the people that really can't access services anywhere else, because that's always kind of been the real heart of our mission is, we're low barrier. We will serve anyone. If you're willing to be safe, you can come in our doors and we will keep you safe. So we weren't willing to veer from that, but what we were willing to do is tell people you're worth it. We believe you're worth it, and we believe you can do it. And we're going to give you the tools and resources to do it and come alongside you as you rebuild. And so we worked through just some different operational things, came up with our tiered program. And I know this is the long version. I said I was going to give the short version, but I don't think I'm capable of doing that. So we came up with the tiered programming. It's based on trauma-informed care model, as well as Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, which are, very well accepted theories and used, throughout medical facilities, things of that nature. We came up with our tiers. So tier 1 is the baseline tier. That is basically anyone can come in. They just have to be safe. Mm-hmm. You have to be safe, and you can't compromise the safety of those around you. Those folks are higher risk clients. Maybe they're in active drug addiction. Maybe they have significant mental health needs that aren't being met. We will still serve them as long as they will be safe. We do serve them on a more structured basis, however. So they're allowed to come in at 7 p.m. and they have to leave by 7 a.m. So we give them shelter overnight, and that's really it. We do have 2 days during the week that they can come in for showers and laundry. Those are very closely overseen and very structured just to maintain that safety piece. In order to, meet tier 2 criteria, the biggest things are you're willing to create a housing plan and you're sober. We do drug testing. We breathalyze when people come in our doors. And so if someone is willing to do both of those things and connect with coordinated entry here in town, we will bump them up to tier 2. Tier 2 comes with the incentive of being able to be in the shelter during the daytime hours, as long as they're following through with their housing plan and being safe. The majority of our clients do fall under tier 2, which is pretty actually incredible. We really didn't see that being the case when we first opened. We thought that there would be more tier 1s, but really the majority of our clients, about 85 to 90%, are tier 2. In order to transition to tier 3, which is our highest tier, basically it's just the longevity of, you've been following through with this housing plan for at least 30 days. You've been sober for at least 30 days. And you haven't had any rule violations. You've been complying and, role modeling good behavior. Our tier 3s, the biggest incentives per se that they get a curfew pass. So if they wanted to go out and watch a movie, as long as they come back and they're sober and, doing all the right things, we're going to allow that. We're giving them that control back of their situation.
Freedom there.
Yeah. But that still means that they're following through with their housing plan and that they're not just, winging it. Right. They're being intentional. They're following that housing plan. Our housing plan is basically, when they first come to us, we go over anything that could ever possibly ever be an issue. And whether it be something that we focus on and address right away, or whether it be something that we know we're going to focus on and address over time or later, we're always actively working towards at least one thing. And that housing plan has been really helpful for a lot of these folks in just identifying what their needs are and where they've fallen short in the past, and really filling those gaps with the right services.
So 3 tiers. A lot of it is kind of based off of how much you want to actually get better, really. So it's kind of in your core, but also there's some expectations for them.
Absolutely.
They don't meet it. Hey, there's some consequences, which is really, really good. It's just interesting because as you're talking and I'm listening, I keep thinking of the 2 words that hit me a couple of years ago when we were kind of more of that enabling thing too, was life transformation. Mm-hmm. That's what it is, life transformation. Like you see someone, you're created by God in God's image, and like there's more to that person there.
Right.
It takes time. But unfortunately, I'd say, we inherited this where just enabling, kind of do whatever you want to do. So I make those tough decisions, but also providing those resources. So very, very good. So just share. I mean, it's kind of cool because I remember when you first became executive director, I mean, the One Way Shelter was, like you said, it was about ready to shut down or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And so your past couple years, 2-3 years, what I'd say, is that what it is?
Oh, it's
About
been 3
3
years.
years. Okay, I felt like 50 probably, but
Yeah.
it's been
I
3.
developed some wrinkles over that period of time,
Yeah.
needless to say.
But what are some things that you've learned along the I know that's probably a loaded question right there, but what are some things that you've learned as executive director over the past 3 years?
Hard things are always going to be coming at you, whether you get through the one hard situation, there's always going to be something. And to just really, for me, be intentional, have that work-life balance. You shared a really just simple thing with me. I have an audience of one, which
Yeah.
like that should have just been in the back of my head anyway. But that really has been helpful for me as of recently with just, some of the dialogue around the warming shelter and people really not being informed or educated on what we're doing now and kind of focusing on what we did before. And, you do I can't show it, but I do feel angry sometimes and things like that. But it's a good reminder that I have an audience of one. I'm a Christian. I am here to serve Christ, and that is my goal. And if that makes anyone mad along the way, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So that I've actually shared that with a few people. I told you when you said that, I'm like, it's so late, but it is going to stick with me, and I'm going to use this. And they've also said, wow, that's a really good way to look at it. So yeah, just, not becoming jaded. There's always going to be, hard things that come up, and just remembering that I have that audience of one, and I'm here to love people. I'm not here to judge anyone. That's not my job. And we know whose job that is. And I'm just here to love people and to remember to keep that at the forefront of what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, that's stuff I've shared with you before in our previous conversations. This experience, people share that with me. And I think one thing too, as I'm listening to you, is I learned this from Dr. Raul Sanchez. He's a cool guy, very, very good at what he does. He has a little framework he calls renew, move, and find. So renew your perspective, right? You're a child of God. You're a daughter. You're a masterpiece. Move towards uncertainty. So what is it that you're uncertain about? No, move towards it. Because, when you move towards something, fear goes down. And then you'll find your what moment, like what's awesome about that. And I'm pretty sure if you look back at your 3 years, you can see a lot of, okay, I had to look at my identity, who I was in Christ. I had to move towards those uncomfortable situations, but man, I've seen the growth along the way. So take those little nuggets, and that's free advice too. So it was given to me by him, so it's free advice.
I'll keep that one in my back pocket.
Yeah. But all right, so a lot of good stuff here, but one thing you said earlier was, hey, we're nonprofits, we need money. Right. We also need volunteers. We need mentors, we need workshops, all this stuff. If anyone's interested in volunteering or giving or just finding out more about the warming shelter, tell them how they can go about doing that.
Yeah. So they can visit our website for really any information related to any of those things. But really, if you wanted to stop by, I would be glad to show you around, give you a tour, explore ways that you can help. But yeah, I mean, we're always looking for volunteers, donors, all the things. We're a nonprofit. We're doing the best we can with what we've got. And so we're always looking for people to be a part of our mission and, help us along the way, because we are better together.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Shayla, thank you. It is such a blessing. You were an amazing leader the past 3 years, watching you grow. It's been fun to, somewhat kind of walk alongside you on that. And so keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to this episode of TGM Aware. To partner with us in transforming lives, visit thegospelmission.org. Subscribe and share to help others become aware, because together we make a difference.